So, good evening. Thank you for taking your time this evening to listen to our presentation. My name is Kurt Moji. I am with the PCS Group. I'm here tonight to present to you Summit Pointe, which is an extension of Summit Ridge and existing townhome development. The agenda for tonight's meeting is an introduction to the project team, to review where we are from a project timeline and go through the city's process, to show you our proposed site plan, give you an understanding of the architectural elevations, share some conceptual perspectives so you understand how the community will live, and wrap up with answering any questions you may have. This is our project team. I'm here tonight representing PCS Group, a land planning and landscape architecture firm. Caliber is the civil engineer on the project, who will be assisting with grading the site, working through drainage design, as well as utility layout. Godin Sudik is the architect, providing architectural design for the project. West 82nd Drive LLC is the developer, and Lennar is the home builder. West 82nd Drive LLC is headed up by Otto Eichinger, a seasoned developer and builder in the Denver metropolitan area for the past 25 years. He focuses on infill neighborhoods and revitalizes them to modern living communities. Lennar is a publicly traded home builder with a strong track record, having built over 1 million homes nationwide. Backed by extensive experience, they are committed to quality, value, and integrity in every home they build. Now that you're familiar with the design team, I'd like to walk you through where we are in the City of Westminster's approval process. The city's process involves multiple steps. We have completed our first submittal and received approval to meet with you tonight. Specifically, we are working on amending the preliminary development plan, also known as PDP, and submitting an overall development plan, also known as ODP. The preliminary development plan establishes key site standards, including land use, housing types, and density. We are amending this PDP to refine the housing product, incorporating duplex as well as 4, 5, and 6-plex townhomes. The overall development plan details the site layout, including building footprints, architectural styles, sidewalk locations, landscaping, site lighting, and utility placements. Tonight our focus will be on the ODP as it represents the core framework of the site plan. If everything proceeds smoothly, the approval process takes 6 to 8 months. The City of Westminster schedules neighborhood meetings after the first round of city comments to ensure community feedback is incorporated into the second submittal. Typically, there are 3 rounds of comments before a proposal moves forward to the Planning Commission and City Council hearings for final approval. I want to note that the City Council and Planning Commission hearings, those are public, so you'll be notified as to when those will be scheduled, and you'll have an opportunity to come and voice your comments at that time as well to Planning Commission and City Council. We look forward to hearing your thoughts and incorporating your feedback into this process. This slide illustrates the project location. We all know where it is, but just in case, it is north of Shadow Ridge at Briar Heights, west of Cobblestone Park, south of Panorama Point, and east of Park Rise at Summit Pointe. It is an extension of the existing Summit Ridge Townhomes Phase 4. This is the site plan. The plan includes 50 townhome units spread across 11 buildings, with unit configurations ranging from duplexes to 6plexes. Unit sizes vary from 1,200 to 1,800 square feet, offering 2 to 3 bedrooms and 2 to 2.5 bedrooms depending upon the layout. The design incorporates the existing roads on site as well as the existing detention pond for stormwater management. Each townhome comes with a garage. 37 units have 2-car garages, while 13 units have 1-car garages. In total, the plan provides 133 parking spaces, which include 27 guest spaces and 19 additional spaces. 2 open space areas are provided, enhancing community's outdoor experience with recreation, relaxation, and multi-use activities, featuring a mix of trees and turf areas. This is an example of the duplex building. One elevation features a more traditional design, while the other has modern roof lines for a contemporary look. Each home will incorporate a mix of exterior stone and lap siding, providing texture and visual appeal. All townhomes are 2 stories and approximately 32 feet tall. This is an example of the fourplex building. As with the duplex, each building features two distinct architectural styles that complement the surrounding neighborhood. The main living areas are typically on the first floor, while the bedrooms are typically on the second floor. Now let's take a look at some perspectives of how the community will look. A key map has been provided to show the exact locations of these views. This particular perspective highlights the Clay Street entry and a sixplex building facing the street. This is a perspective of the western open space area, so you can get a scale of what the common area looks like. This is the western open space area from a different angle. This is a perspective of the eastern open space area. This is the trail on the south side of the parcel adjacent to the Allen Ditch looking west towards Cobblestone Park. It begins to tell the story of the separation that is happening between us and our neighbors to the south. This is a bird's eye view of the proposed plan. That concludes our presentation. We will do our best to field any questions you may have. To keep things orderly, please raise your hand rather than speaking over one another. Just as you expect professionalism and respect from us, we ask the same in return. With that, let's begin the question and answer portion of the meeting. Yes?
You mentioned we would be notified of city council meetings.
Yes.
Is that in the same fashion we were notified of this meeting?
Yes, it'll be a mailer, and there will also be signs posted on the site.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a timeline overall for like potentially how long it will take until you start breaking ground?
I think that's going to be probably about 12 months, maybe the early first quarter next year. Otto?
I think we're going to speed that up a little bit
Okay.
because we've been able to consolidate certain ideas and certain practices. We don't know. We may have to go through 3 full rounds of comments. So we're hoping, put it this way, 6 to 12 months.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's Otto. He is the developer.
Yeah, my name's Otto Eichinger, by the way, and this is my partner Eric Head. We're developing this project. And
Eric, Otto, come on up.
well, all right, Eric, come on up here.
Would you like to sit?
No.
Grab your chair.
I'm better standing. So Eric Head and I, we do multiple projects through town. We do some up north around the Meade area. We do some in the city of Centennial. Just completed one 12 townhomes off of Orchard between Broadway and University. And then we built some custom homes too, which when they showed in the picture was a house we built up in Cordiera. But we've been doing this for quite a few years, and we found this project a couple of years ago. It was, as you well know, anybody knows the area, it's sat, and trash was starting to accumulate. People were parking their trucks there, people were parking their trailers there, and we're doing our darndest to get those people to quit doing that. We've towed vehicles, we've removed the trailer that was there, we got the trash out, and we didn't leave a dumpster there because that just causes more people to dump. But we're working pretty well with the city, and we're trying to fast track and get a really nice project there for all the neighbors, because I know it's been kind of tough to live next to you for a while. So, Eric, do you have anything you want to add?
No, we're just excited for this opportunity, and like I said, we certainly, hope to answer any questions you have. I think I recognize you from the last meeting.
My question was, didn't you present at the city hall?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
I was wondering if it was the same group. So.
Yeah.
It is the same group. The only thing that changed is the builder. Richmond was originally going to do the project, and now we've got Lennar, and Lennar had a more complementary product for your area. And I think we had some comments about architecture and this and that, and I think Lennar's architecture is probably going to fit a little bit better than what Richmond was proposing.
Because there was a different number of units, and if I recall.
Yeah, it was
Like 43
slightly different. Yeah, 43 versus 50.
Yeah.
The other thing was the price point of those homes were coming in too high. And
So
we
what's
did
the
not
price
want
point
that.
here?
It's a moving target, but it's somewhere in the 5s to 6s. So it all kind of depends, as you will know, how the economy goes.
And I think your question was actually about, yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
How long from start to finish on the build? So if they start, let's say you guys get fully approved to go forward in 6 months, how long is Lennar telling you guys to complete the project?
About 18 months they're telling us,
Okay.
start to finish on all 15 homes.
Are they going to be working Monday through Friday or Saturdays as well?
Usually Monday through Friday.
Are they going to start at 8 a.m.?
Actually, there's ordinances that control their times, that they can and cannot work. So, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
I was talking to this gentleman just when we first got here, talking about the 3 buildings that are on 82nd Lane,
Yeah,
and our only way in and out of there is down 82nd Lane to 82nd Drive to Clay. We can't go out to the east, and we can't go, because there's gates at both ends that we can't go through.
okay.
So once it starts, we need to, have access, getting in and in and out. We have people.
We will always make sure that you have access.
Okay, and
Right.
we always worry about, some of the.
Even if we have to put a flagman up there while they're doing certain things.
Some of the, and some of us are a little older, we kind of like to have a chance of Westminster Fire to get to us, they need to.
There you go. Yeah.
Which we dealt with the last group that was doing this, and when I heard the name Eric, I had to look, because that's who was running the group before.
Different person.
Yep.
I can already tell, because he was a dick.
Well, hopefully I don't give you the same impression.
He was just so difficult, I mean, and you talk to the people of Westminster, they'll give you the same scenario.
Yeah.
It was just really hard to work with.
We understood the scenario, and that's one of the reasons we're here now, is because they couldn't get it figured out. And they were trying to develop it, build it on their own, and sell it on their own, and they had no experience to do it. They couldn't get the money, and eventually it went into foreclosure.
When they had the issues with that, getting overrun with weeds and stuff, and I had access to somebody with, with their codes, and he actually called them after this all went down, and he blamed them for causing him to get paid.
Yeah, well,
And he was just, and she just said, what an evil man.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, he was not an experienced developer. I'll just leave it at that.
That was very straightforward, yeah.
now, what, you mentioned the heights and stuff.
Mhm.
What are they again?
The maximum height of the building is around 32 feet.
32 feet?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at where I live, and I'm thinking I might get lucky with buildings 29 and 30, and may still have a view.
Are you somewhere ready to?
Yeah, I'm in the middle building, yeah.
Well, yeah, you're going to
So
see
you're ready
great
for
view.
that southern view of the football
Because
field.
that's what, when we bought that place about 8 years ago, walked in there, and because of the, I don't know if you've been in those, I mean, it's a wide open kitchen, and that view was,
Yeah.
I've not been in.
they're, so, is it gonna be a lot, the traffic gonna be, how many people do you think? Basically, 2 to 3 per someone who could possibly,
Yeah.
100, 150 people,
Correct.
I mean.
It's just kind of a small infill, actually. It's not like some of these other big projects we've done, 300 homes or anything like that. So it's 50 homes. Right.
It'll impact our places too. We bring that in there, it's gonna raise our property values too.
Absolutely. And not only that, but we're going to put in some great green belts there where right now there's weeds.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, a big one. Are we going to, the original was for it to all be one. Are we going to stay separate as HOAs, or are we deciding if we're going to combine?
I think we're going to have to see how that plays out. I
Okay.
think we would be open to joining the HOA, but if the HOA wasn't open to us, then obviously we could make our own.
Maybe we would discuss that, just because we only have, I think it's a total of 16 units, and with as few people as we have, we're sharing quite a bit of cost.
Right.
Where I'm wondering, obviously.
There's economies of scale, yeah.
Yeah, if it wouldn't be that we actually end up having a better deal if we were to be combined, it'd be something we'd have to look at.
We would certainly be open to the thought.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Would the HOA contact in your group to start those discussions?
So we actually will be bound to set up the HOA. We have to draw up a contract, and basically, we would for instance, over the Orchard Townhomes we had to set up the HOA and have it approved by the city. And I think that's a situation that would go like this, and then it has opportunity to plug into an existing or stay by itself.
Right, so you're not anywhere near setting it up now?
No, we probably are fairly
Oh, you
near.
are?
We'll be
Okay.
setting it up in the next few months.
Okay.
So, and
So
we're happy to share.
Is there an email or a phone number that the HOA can reach out to you with
Just
to?
contact me, I can forward information
Yep.
along.
Yeah.
And just to further what Otto is saying, setting it up, I think what is happening is Lennar would be drafting their covenants, codes, and conditions based on this architectural product and what the maintenance would potentially be and what would be covered under that maintenance. And then after that, it would be what Otto was saying, where a representative from the development team or Lennar would be head of that HOA if it didn't join you all until it could get turned over to the actual homeowners. Because somebody still needs to head that up.
Has to be 70 or 75% developed before it gets turned over.
That's how they handled the later buildings in Summit Ridge,
Yeah.
was that they were owned by the builders and before they merged the HOAs.
Yeah. Any questions back there? Did I miss some? Okay. No, all right.
I'm new to this, so the existing detention pond seems a bit scary. Are you going to alter that at all?
It seems a bit what?
Scary?
Scary.
Like you could walk up to it and fall into it, no problem.
Well, anything over, is it 30 inches, we'll have to put a railing on?
Okay,
I think it's 30 inches.
okay, because like you can see it from the opposite side and it goes real deep.
Right. But plus, everything that's out there now is going to get cleaned up substantially. Some of the walls need to be redone.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and you'll probably find there's definitely at least a box or kind of leaning. Oh, yeah.
oh, we've seen them out there quite a bit.
Yeah, they-
They're almost tame.
Yeah,
So-
one of them's been hit by a car before.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Otto, will you resurface 82nd Drive?
Yes,
Yeah.
we will be. Yeah, we're putting a new top coat on everything. We want it to be absolutely fresh.
Well, after the
When-
builders come in, there
yeah.
won't be anything left anyway.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to regrade it pretty good, I'm sorry,
That's all right.
right? You're gonna have to regrade it pretty good, I guess?
Yeah.
You know, because of the way it's, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
To be precise, does that also include 82nd Lane, including the part that's not in your dashboard?
Right, this right here, everything that you see in gray color is going to be redone.
Right, but you guys are not owners, I'm assuming, of the road past.
Correct.
The existing-
And right now, there's a chain right there, and some people said they like to keep the chain there, and if they want to, I guess we could.
I think that was your question to us last
It
time.
was, but wouldn't that be left up to the fire department? That's a fire.
Well, the fire department can take it down as needed,
Yeah.
but otherwise, the chain can stay up. In fact, they tend to put a lock on it. Is there a lock on it now?
It's a cotter pin, it's
That's,
not a wall.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
It just has to be accessible by the fire department, I know that.
It's just always been kind of a gray area. Isn't, you know, like what I said to begin with, that as it stands right now, that is our means of coming and going, right, the second lane and out to the second.
Yeah, but they put a Knox box on that, or
Yeah,
They did it one time on the one at the far end,
Yeah.
of 82nd Lane.
the one down in the southeast corner?
No, that up top.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So,
I know it's Lennar, guys, but do you know which buildings they're gonna start with?
We don't at this point.
Oh,
They're a good group of people. We've worked with them quite a bit, and this is not their first rodeo, needless to say. I have a feeling that this project will go rather quickly. I know your team's worked with them for how many years?
We have, and I can't believe I didn't ask where their models would be, do you know?
Yeah.
I don't.
My guess
I mean, I can find
it
out.
would just be a guess, but it might be right here.
Yeah, my guess would be, it would be one of the, this is just our guess, but one of the buildings on Clay Street would be my guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know that.
Yes?
So there are currently parking spots developed on area that you now own, next to buildings 33 and 32 on that map.
Right here?
No.
Yeah, right here.
Those are
Yeah.
currently already paved.
Yes.
and
They're gonna get repaved.
They're gonna get repaved.
They're gonna get built and repaved, I should say.
Yeah, I guess the question would be, what do you foresee being the relationship to the existing users of those parking spaces? That the current HOA doesn't have a ton of regulations in place for those, but it looks to me like we don't actually own those from the map that you're showing me, so.
Probably don't, but because we have extensive parking.
There's going to be most likely a perpetual access easement over all of that. So I don't think that I don't think that they're going to be exclusive just to Lennar. I think what we were trying to do was to maximize the amount of guest parking that was on the site currently. So, and honestly, that's a very difficult thing for an HOA to enforce or monitor anyway.
It absolutely is.
Not that they might not try.
They might try.
Well, I can tell you what we've had to do over on Orchard. We've actually had to say in certain areas that this is property of the HOA to keep people from parking their cars that aren't part of the area. So, and we also say that there's no full-time, I can't remember how we worded the sign, but it stops people from multiple nights without moving their car. So,
But a community like this isn't like an apartment community where
Correct.
you might have like a numbered space that's your space, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I was mostly just curious what the interaction would be there, because I currently park my car on your shaded part of the map,
yeah,
and
perfect.
didn't know if I'd be able to keep doing that.
I'm just glad it's not a trailer. I'm just glad it's not a.
Someone took my RV recently, do you know where that?
They left the washer and dryer right outside of
I
it.
know, they took it.
Yeah, we are the local dump, it seems like, and we've taken a lot of trash out of there. So. Go ahead.
All right, I have another one. Is there any consideration for trail access for your new units to that trail? Is there any practical reality that's preventing you from having trail access across that little ditch?
Do we have a sidewalk, Kurt, or?
We don't, that's the Allen ditch on the south side, that you see the blue line on there.
Yeah.
Anything between the blue line and the property line, we can't make any improvements to. That's part of the Allen ditch company and their regulations.
Okay,
So, yeah, I don't see, we could ask the question, but I don't see that it would.
I didn't know if it was a conscious choice on your part, or if it was just a practical, it sounds like it's a practical reality that
Yeah.
there would have to be additional collaboration with the Allen Ditch Company.
Correct.
So,
I mean, you don't tell.
You look like you got a question. Yeah.
Well, last time you asked about the access through this.
That's what I was going to see, if
We
you
were
were
just
still,
talking
you
about
were concerned
Allen's
about
ditch,
this.
because at one time, we had a little bridge.
Okay.
But
Down here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can take it down.
it's right back there.
If you had your druthers, would you like to keep a chain right here, or would you prefer there is no chain?
Well, I think it's a whole traffic issue through there.
Okay.
You know, it's such a small street.
Right.
And people park along the south side of that street. The north side is red fire zone
Okay.
all the way, so I don't know how you could not have that.
Also, you get into the tediousness of like, when it snows, do they know to stop?
Right.
Whose HOA is then paying for that snowplow?
Because we just paid for the
Yeah.
other gate on the other side, because the snowplow went through.
Oh, my.
Our snow movers.
Yeah, okay.
But then the other two gates go directly in between two sets of garage.
Okay.
So garage, both sides.
Well, we'll have further discussion as it gets closer, and you feel like you want to, it's not something we have to say now, nor do we have to say it, when we, close with Lennar, but it's something that can be ongoing as the HOAs interact, or become one.
I'm sure the people that live there along that area will say no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although some of them do park on the opposite side of that gate sometimes.
I do that.
Yeah, you do. There are people.
Yeah.
I would send caution with opening it up though, only because the issues with people trying to park stolen cars in the area.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And break-in issues. That's kind of expanding that area where it's not easy for everybody to see things and it's easy for people to get away with things.
Hopefully the dumping and loitering and parking of vehicles has come to an end. So, yes, sir.
Gonna be plans for nighttime street lighting? Have you guys planned that out? Do you have any visualizations of it, or?
We don't have any graphics that illustrate that at this time. It'll be part of the submittal process. We'll have to do a photometric plan, which identifies how much light is going and where it's going. So per those regulations, the light is not supposed to go off the property.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
It does, it's just the properties are so close to each other. I was curious what interaction there might be.
I can see that. So you mentioned from his question earlier, it's the very top ones that are on 82nd that will still have a view past the buildings, but anything that's not on the very top level probably won't have views any longer.
Well, I don't know, actually, I think these will have great views.
No, I'm saying
The existing.
the existing.
Oh, the
you know, for it to be
existing,
blocked.
no. Yeah, unfortunately, there's going to be a gap here, there'll be a gap here, and there's of course a gap here that will look over these, I think.
Yeah,
So,
I think for the height will probably, for the most part, block that out, they think.
hard to say, I don't know. What do you,
What's the height of those buildings at?
30, they're 30 feet, but we
Up
got
the
a
hill
fairly,
too.
No, come
good
in.
drop off.
These, because these are elevated above these. So
Right.
what's the height of these buildings?
I think in general, what you're saying is probably true, but depending on whether Lennar builds one of the traditional style elevations versus the modern style elevations, will give variation in the roof pitch, It's not going to be like a big wall,
Yeah.
32 feet, right? There's going to be undulation in the roof. So depending on which model gets built where, depends on sort of you see what I mean?
Yeah.
See how you got the triangle action going on? So, but in general, I feel like what you're saying is probably accurate. It's just that from what vantage point, it's kind of hard to say.
Okay.
Will the site lighting plan include anticipated fixtures to kind of show how much spread is going to be like vertical?
Yes.
Kurt, why don't you explain a quick photometric plan?
Oh, I'm aware.
gotcha.
But other people here. may
Oh,
not
yeah,
be.
sorry, I'm a civil engineer.
Yes.
But I'm just worried about like the light spread. Like there's a lot of pictures in the older development that have like barely covered tops. So like you get a lot of that like 3/4.
Right.
And then light pollution into some of the adjacent units.
Right, all the light has to go down. None of it can go up.
I have a general question, as I've never been to one of these before, but have you guys ever considered like one of those more community-oriented like communities where it's, they could have community gardens and other things to bring people together and aren't just like focused on like a bunch of buildings?
Quite honestly, no. It's a, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Over at Orchard, we did a pocket park. And we didn't put any gardens in there, but we put little walkways, we put pergolas, we put a barbecue out there. We did things like that to get people to come together. Those are only 12 units.
I still think a community garden, by the way, is something that's possible. It's just not something that we're claiming. But the HOA that takes this over can use a portion of that common courtyard space and create a community garden out of it. I think that would actually be something that I think that the community could get invested in. We've just provided the multi-flex space for it.
And once it's turned over to an HOA, they can decide how the area gets utilized. Yes, sir.
You go back to the overview of the site, buildings 45 through 50, is that a sidewalk going from a low elevation to a high elevation around the outer perimeter there?
On the east side?
I think that's parking on 82nd, actually.
So this right here is pulling into the garages, correct?
Yes,
And then this is a sidewalk.
That is a sidewalk?
Yes.
yes.
Is there any opportunity to connect it to sidewalk going, well, I guess southeast there, around the other Ravenwood Park?
No.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
We had an elevation change, didn't we?
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the grading plan. We can ask the civil engineer how to
Yeah,
get a
if
connection.
memory serves me correct, we would probably have to put in a staircase.
The western view of the might have the best.
If you were looking at the open space view, or?
Yeah, because it'll show the great elevation.
Last one?
Yeah.
So it'd be tying
In the
this
back, yeah.
down to there. Like I said, there may be a staircase, but it's something we could certainly consider.
I think there's a desire path is a term I've heard for it. People have been walking there anyways,
Okay?
to get down from low to high, so.
Okay.
Because there's existing sidewalk behind the existing units that has slight stairs in it.
Okay.
So you may be able to step down to get a little reaching.
Certainly consideration.
Everybody else?
All right.
Would you like to say something?
Yes.
This is
My
Red.
name is Red Batesel. I'm with the City of Westminster Planning Department. I'm the project planner for this Summit Point. The development team spoke to what you can expect next in the public participation process. If you receive public notice for this meeting, you'll receive one once the project is planned for a public hearing at Planning Commission. You'll have an opportunity to speak then at the public hearing if you'd like, and again at City Council meeting. And City Council will make the final decision on approval, recommendation of approval or denial on the project. In the meantime, you can reach out to me. At the city, I have business cards. My contact info is on that letter you received, and I can keep you informed on the review process or put you in touch with the correct staff at the city who can answer your specific questions. Any questions for me? Okay. Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.